All right, welcome back. This is 6.0 lower roof trusses. Today we're going to input our trusses, but before we can do so, we need to draw a polyline around the building to represent the external load-bearing support lines. This polyline will represent the truss's keel location or support line, and it'll be coded as a support line. We'll also learn how to add and code roof lines representing the eaves overhang. Note, wall panels, trusses, and joists all have different properties and engineering requirements. Coding informs the FrameCAD structure software of the function of the line you're drawing and what intelligence should be applied to it. So let's start by quick navigating to border number 2, the enter to enter. And we're going to initiate the offset command and type in offset. 17.5 inches is going to be the offset. I'm going to click on the polyline on the left side, and then I'm going to click anywhere outside to the far left of it. Okay, and then I'm going to click this polyline, and I'm going to click anywhere to the far right side of it. Hit enter when I'm all done. Okay, next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to define the inner lines as support lines. These are this is our way of telling FrameCAD structure, hey, these represent the walls on the first floor. So when I put roof trusses on in this view, keep in mind that there are walls below, and we do that by saying these are support lines. So we're going to go to structure, miscellaneous, trusses, layout, SL code support line. You can also type in SL as a keyboard alias shortcut. Select those two inner lines and hit enter, and they'll turn to a solid orange line. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to code the outside ones as roof lines. So structure, trusses, layout, and then we're going to say RL for code roof line. I'm going to select this one, and we're going to select this one and hit enter. Now those are going to be cyan and dashed, and these represent the eave overhangs. So a little bit about roof theory and FrameCAD structure. I'm going to pull up my document right here. The truss software operates on the basis that every roof is a rectangle or a collection of rectangles. Here we have two. Throughout this training manual, these rectangles will be referred to as roof blocks. Sometimes these roof blocks may merge or overlap, and sometimes they may have more than 4 sides, but broadly speaking, they are still a collection of blocks. The trick to creating accurate roof plans and truss layouts is to be able to identify the roof blocks. And when identifying these roof blocks, it is usually easier to start with the smallest blocks and work up to the largest block. Using this method, you can usually simplify the drawing as you go. The drawing below shows an example of a roof consisting of 2 roof blocks. When the entire roof is of one pitch, all roof lines will be at the right angle to each other with the hips and valleys at 45 degrees. Regardless of the complexity of the roof, the direction of fall is always towards a gutter or valley. If a roof falls to a hip or ridge, you may have a problem as water will not run uphill. In this example, this is a more complex roof consisting of 4 roof blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see both of them at the same time. Okay. So now we can get back to creating our roof lines. We need to use the CRL create roof lines command to draw and code our roof lines automatically. We're going to initiate the CRL create roof lines command, structure, trusses, layout, CRL create roof lines. We need to define a roof line by 3 points. The first 2 points define the roof width and the orientation of the trusses, while the third point determines the extent of the trusses and the roof length. For the first point, I'm going to click on the upper left endpoint of the left roof line. For the second point, I'm going to click on the lower left endpoint of that left roof line. And then for the third point, you can either click the upper right or the lower right endpoint endpoint of the right roof line, here or here. I'm going to go ahead and click that. You're going to see an asterisk appear on the left side, and in the command line, it's asking us to select a roof type. I'm going to say H for hip. Now you'll see a new colored asterisk on the right side. I'm going to say H hip, and it's going to give me my roof lines. These represent the ridges of the roof. I'm going to need to trim this because there is no roof right here. These are the little roof wings that go over this first floor, but then the second floor occurs right here in the middle. So I don't need all of this ridge here. So I'm going to type in line. I'm going to draw a line from this end point all the way down, holding shift or turning ortho on, and then doing another one over here. And then I'm going to type in trim. And I'm going to select the cutting entities, which is these two lines. And then I'm going to come in and select these lines here. Oops. Let's try that again. Select cutting entities for trim. Give me these two. Enter. Select entity to trim or select shift select. Perfect. And then now I can just delete this line here and delete these two white lines. And that's what's left over. Okay, so now that we've trimmed all that away, we can revisit our truss settings. So let's go TSET. Okay, we want to make sure we're using the 350 LE system. We want to make sure sheet roof pitch. Let's change this to 20. 8 foot for the reduced level. The reduced level is where the bottom of the trusses start up in the air. So we're going to set that at 8 feet because they're sitting on top of 8-foot tall walls. Let's open up our truss spacing and let's make sure we have all this correct. 2 foot, 4 foot, 2 foot. This is all looking good. Truss spacing types, even spacing. Let's set this one to true, true. Okay, that's all looking good. Let's go ahead and hit save. We can navigate back to border number 2. Let's go to structure, trusses, layout, and then now let's do TD truss draw. Now that we're going to initiate the truss draw command, what we're going to do is now select our corners, and it's going to be very similar to how we created the roof line. So for the first point, I'm going to select this endpoint here. Now this time we're going for the support lines, right? We're putting the heel of the truss right at the support line or right at the walls below. So I'm going to click on the orange endpoint and then this orange endpoint. And then for the third point, instead of going all the way over here, I'm just going to go to here. I'm going to click that. I'm going to get an asterisk. I'm going to say H for hip. And then for this portion over here, I'm going to type in M for more. And I'm going to say truss only and click OK. And that's going to produce my trusses. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So let's reissue that command, hitting enter. I'm going to click here, click there, and then click there. H, and then M for more. And we're going to say truss only. And click OK. Now we've got our trusses. So now we're going to go ahead and view these trusses. Actually, before we do that, let's type in LA label all. And then we'll select all of our trusses, or we could just hit enter. And now all of them are labeled. I'm going to type in T3D to get a little 3D preview. Hit enter. And then I'm going to navigate to this little corner here. Oops, everything's all flipped. There we go. All right, so those are representations of my trusses. Let's get my walls in here. Let me go back to layouts, V enter, 1 enter. Let's do P3D. Looks like everything's already labeled. So P3D, hit enter. Now I've got my walls in here. Under the view tab, let's change this to realistic. Yep, now that looks way more realistic. Okay, cool. So that's about it for this exercise. Make sure you take a screenshot of this 3D layout here and then go to border number 2 here in your layouts view and take a screenshot of this. These are all of your trusses all laid out. These pink areas represent the eave overhang. portion of that truss. And then we got some truss girders as well. So, all right, great. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.